This is Julie Albaugh. We're live at the Ohio State House where Jan Kish is getting ready to set up her cake for today's wedding. So, kind of giving behind the scenes.
The top two tiers and a little square cake that you'll see up here in a bit, they are gluten-free chocolate. And then cakes for the guests are red velvet, spice with a salty caramel, chocolate with a mocha buttercream and chocolate ganache, and a white swan cake with an English lemon curd, vanilla buttercream, and raspberry reductions. And that's the cake that won the best tasting cake when we were on TLC's Ultimate Cake Off. So about 2/3 of the country like that one. The rhinestones that are surrounding the cake match also the bride's dress, and they are Swarovski crystal, which gives them a really nice flash to them. I guess they're the next best thing to diamonds. There's a concept. Part of it depends on what kind of cake you have on the inside, because some cakes are more expensive than others, depending on the ingredients of the cake. So depending on what's on the inside and how elaborate your outside is, that will determine the price. So the more fancy you get, obviously the more expensive the cake becomes. So on this tier, I've disengaged the cake that I was just putting on, and I'm taking off a bit of the decoration so that the cake is going to sit flat. Top tier is something we call the midnight tier, and more often than not, couples don't get a chance to have a piece of cake at their own wedding because they're busy talking to their guests and are enveloped by family and friends. So we make this little one on top for them to take or have waiting for them back in their room, so they can literally have their cake and eat it too. And then the next tier down is their anniversary tier. Now this cake, because it is so heavy and broad in the beam, I'm just going to put one little skewer down through here to secure the cake. It really doesn't need one to go all the way through, and it will be easier for the staff to take it apart. Mm-hmm. You don't want anybody to bump the table and have the top two tiers take off.
How many hours it took you to create this cake?
I started with the flowers because you can make those in advance.
Mm-hmm.
So you do everything you possibly can before Friday night, which is an all-night party, when you make the cake part of it, and then you start putting it together. So it's really a series of steps that go into it.
Is that?
You know, probably a couple weeks ago we started making the flowers, and so it's a work in progress. And this little cake here is a gluten-free cake that the bride and groom are going to cut for their first piece that they serve to each other.
But first, I would like to point out to you that the bride's dress also matches the cake. So if you get up close to both of them,
It's sharper than it looks.